Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Super Luigi Galaxy. In the last episode, we defeated Megaleg, the boss of the terrace, and we unlocked the fountain. This episode, well, we've got our ultimate goal this episode is to unlock the boss of the fountain, which is down there. We actually can't see how many stars it takes, but it's about 15 or 16. We have unlocked a new galaxy though. 15, that's how much it takes to unlock the boss, but we've unlocked the Battle Rock Galaxy, so let's head straight there. So, this is Episode 1, Battle Rock Barrage. And the Battle Rock Galaxy is generally a very... I know they call it the Battle Rock Galaxy, great one. It's, generally speaking, a very busy galaxy. There's a lot going on, and we start off by gathering pieces for a... Just to remind you that you can go on the underside of these sources in case you'd forgotten. We gather pieces for a pull star. There's 2 right there. Oh, tiny top maniacs, get away from me. That's 3, then I believe there's a 4th one underneath here. And then your 5th one is over there, but on the other side. And, oh, no, it just escaped. It's a moving one, it turns out. So that creates a couple of pull stars, which allows us to access this launch star. Let's roll! So here, to get between these two, we just need to use this thing to bounce up, and we're into the gravity well of this one, and then when we spin on this thing. So, there's a lot going on here. There's, as you will notice, a shit ton of cannons firing at us. We've got this saucer that we're on, we can go on between the top and the bottom of it, we just have to be careful doing so, because as you can see, from the fact they just electrocuted me, there's amps that go around the edges of it. If we hit these cannonballs with bits, they will explode into coins, which can be very useful for healing. It's telling us to go underneath here, because otherwise we will be pushed off the top by that fucker there. Then you got to go back up, because there's an electric gate here. So there's a lot of switching between the two sides of this saucer, in order to avoid being killed in particularly exciting ways. It really sounds like my voice is going. I actually don't feel that bad, but it just briefly kicked in. Oh, that one turned those cannonballs into bits, which is nice. Why do I always feel weird when I'm saying the word bits? It sounds rude somehow, doesn't it? Wow. Hardly surprising how. Right, we can't go on the bottom here because there's a fucker, but on the top we also need to jump over that electric gate. There's no real way around that one or the other. God, I'm sounding husky as fuck. And I need to grab a drink after this level, I think. There we go. Much better. What a great start to the episode. Barely able to speak. Well, we've made it to the end, which is fantastic. Here we have one goal, so that our star is in one of these cages. And as ever, that means luring a bullet bill over. So there's 2 of them here. So let's get the first one to take out that. And the second one, we need to take out this one here. This makes a nice clear path for us. Oh! Little bastard! What a shit. Okay, right, let's try that again. Come on, you. Hey, idiot. There we go. Now if we take out this thing, actually properly this time. There we go. Then we can use the next one that spawns to actually get over to the star. Those 2 are in the way, and to actually get around them and to the star is really bloody hard, take my word for it. But here we can get a nice bit of a run up on him, and bam! Oh, I just had a big drink and I feel much better. Might probably sound slightly less like, what's he called? The dude who plays the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man film. Willem Dafoe. That's what I sound like when I'm really... My throat's feeling all gravity. I'm just like, we're not so different, you and I, Spider-Man. That's what I always say to myself when I'm feeling gravelly. It seems... My voice is stuck on the wrong accent. It seems that a prankster comet has appeared somewhere. Now, prankster comets, they have very strange effects on the galaxies. If you want to learn more about these curious comets, ask the Luma who knows about such things. Oh, that really hurts, actually. I just about cured the graveliness of my voice, and now it's back. Let's have a good cough and a good bevy. Oh, I think I'm ready to roll again. Wonderful. So, prankster comets are a thing. If we talk about the Luma who knows about such things, he will tell us exactly what prankster comets mean. They're a way of fucking with previous levels. Hey ho, if you need to know anything about prankster comets, I'm your Luma. How can I help? Tell me more. No Grease references. This prankster comet is always stirring up trouble, making galaxies go all crazy. Speedy comets limit the amount of time you can spend there. Daredevil comets leave you with low life. Cosmic comets make you race a mirror of yourself. Fast foe comets make your enemies move faster. Now the fun part is trying each one out. You and I have a very different definition of fun. Anyway, there is a prankster comet that's currently in orbit around a world we've already completed. So there is a speedy comet in orbit around the Good Egg Galaxy. Let's land. So, when a comet is in orbit, you have no choice of missions, you can only do whatever mission that comet provides, which is Dino Piranha Speedrun. So this is a speedy comet, which means you have got a set time to complete the mission in its entirety. You'll notice everything is tinted red, and there's like a red coming in from the corners of the screen. That tells you everything's a little bit fucky. So, how long have we got to do this one? We've got quite some time, I believe. 4 minutes. That is a ton of time to actually do Dino Piranha Speedrun. I could just put the speedrun at this point, which would be very appropriate to the speedrun, but I'm going to keep talking, and because I have things to discuss at that point. Oh, didn't quite reach it. Let's get this Luma to give me... What does he become, a pull star? No, he becomes a sling star, doesn't he? There we go. Yeah, so the various types of prankster comet are really nice ways to kind of get you to revisit galaxies, and you'll notice... Doctor, pull the visor up quickly. You will notice that a lot of the galaxies that have 6 missions, almost always 2 of those missions are prankster comet missions. So you have 4 normal stars, well, usually 3 normal stars, 2 prankster comets, and then another star. There's generally a secret star, which I'll talk about more as it becomes relevant for each galaxy. There's generally 3 normal stars, a secret star, and 2 prankster comet stars. I'm really hurting quite hard here. I need to be a little bit more careful. I've been running into these chomps willy-nilly. That's a great but very strange phrase. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Whoop. Oh no! Dodge like a fucking ninja. That was incredible. But yes, the prankster comets are great for actually forcing you to replay galaxies, but in an interesting way. I mean, okay, some people will say that's lazy programming, that they're just squeezing extra play. They haven't actually had to code anything new, though some of them are quite new. The Speedy Comet is probably the least interesting of them. Wow, Daredevil's. So Daredevil is just you have to do the entire level without taking a hit, which depending on the level can vary between being extremely easy and fucking brutal. There are only, as you see, because there's 2 prankster comets per world, it's only ever certain ones. Like, for example, you don't get a Fast Foes comet in the Good Egg Galaxy ever. You only get a Speedy, and I think the other one is... I don't actually know. Oh, I do know what the other one is, and it's actually the 5th type of comet, which your man didn't tell us about, and I will talk about in quite some time, actually, because they don't actually unlock until after you beat the game. But it's always the same ones, and the Daredevil comets, the ones that start you on 1 health, pretty much invariably happen on either really difficult levels or boss levels, because the people who designed this game are bastards. Anyway, with that done, we can head over to the boss part of this, which is Dino Piranha. And you remember how easily we got through Dino Piranha last time. For this, I will put the speeder on because it's not a particularly interesting boss fight. As ever, Dino Piranha is both easy and makes you feel like a really bad person. Land on his planet and beat the shit out of him, why don't you? I hope you're happy with yourself, Luigi. Anyway, that is our first prankster comet. They appear semi-randomly, so once you've got 13 stars, they start appearing, and they appear after every other mission that you do. A prankster comet will appear somewhere. You can move them by paying 30 bits to your man, the guy who told us about it, but it's not entirely worth it, I would say. So, they're an odd one, because I've not been able to exactly practice them, because I don't know what order they're going to come up in, so I've just planned every now and again. My notes just say, do comet mission, because I know when they come up, but I don't know what they're going to be, so they could be a real wild card in the whole Let's Play thing, which should be entertaining for you, I'm sure. Horrible for me, but entertaining for you. Anyway, with that done, let's head back to... Oh dear, that's not what I want to do at all. I wanted to head back to the fountain. And we're going to do Mission 2 of the Space Junk Galaxy. So this is Camella's airship attack. Generally you can tell if it's got someone's name in it, it's probably going to be a mini-boss fight. I call them mini-bosses because, for me, the main bosses are the ones at the end of each world, so the ones that actually earn you a Grand Star. Anything that doesn't earn you a Grand Star, well, it's still a boss of sorts. It's definitely a mini-boss. So This, you go to no at all familiar parts of the... Use your words, Doctor. No familiar parts of the Battle Rock Galaxy... Space Junk Galaxy. This is all airship shit that's only here for this episode. And that's kind of what I mean by... It would be unusual in the other Mario games. Oh, it's telling you how to do a long jump here by jump and spin, which is great. As in how you do a longer jump. You can actually just do a long jump when you just do that, which works beautifully. But it's always nice to know the little tricks. Yeah, like in Sunshine or something like that, you would always... pretty much always be loaded into basically the same version of the level. There were some exceptions to that, like the Goopy Inferno and stuff like that, where you'd be loaded into like a weird version of the level, but usually it was the same. Basically, just a lot more open world. So you notice now we picked up a Koopa Shell. Throw a Koopa Shell at a chest and it will open. This is once again the game doing its nice and clever thing, where the level in which you get to the boss teaches you how to get to the boss. So teaching you can pick up Koopa Shells and shake to throw them. This is a fact worth remembering for the boss upcoming. Generally, just always remember that. If you're about to... Ow! Well, he died as well. I didn't die, so he died, full stop, not as well. There's no as well to it. Yeah, if you pay attention to the level in the run-up to a boss, you will almost always learn something which is important for how to actually beat the boss itself. Here we have an odd thing. We have a tilty platform, so if we stand here, it'll tilt back, which allows us to then jump up and get this thing, he says, failing to jump up and get that thing particularly well. Is there something else? Oh, there's a toad there, certainly. So we've got these dudes who get... Oh, ballsack. There we go. I'm going to try open these chests first. We've got these dudes who we destroyed last time by the deadly tennis game of tennis. Ooh. As in Mario Kart, a red shell means one thing. It's a homing shell. So if I throw it over there... Okay, apparently not that homing, turns out. You gotta still somewhat aim with the bloody thing. But yeah, last time we destroyed those guys with the deadly tennis game of tennis, but this time they only fire fiery projectiles, which are unreturnable. Aha, life shroom. If nothing else about this level hinted to you that a boss fight was very much upcoming, that I feel should. Let's grab that and wallop. That's not going to work well. Oh, it slid under his little projectile. That was nice. With that done, let's roll. So, this bloody freak is Camella, and the game has quite nicely taught you how to fight her. So she'll throw fire like any other Magic Koopa, dodge the fire, wait for her to fire a green projectile. When she does, it will turn into a shell. Just shake to pick the shell up, and then launch it at her face. That's how you do damage to Camella. Nice and straightforward. I don't know why bosses shed bits on their head. It's not like bits heal you at all. It'd be nicer if they shed coins, but maybe that would be too easy, I suppose. You can do a nice little trick there, as you notice. While the green shell is still magical, you can pick it up by shaking. So you can, you don't have to wait for it even to become manifest. God, that was an obnoxious way of saying what I meant. Oh, if I get a coin now, I will maintain my overshields, which is nice. Oh, there we go. And let's hit her right in the mouth. This game weirdly regularly violates... Oh, shit, computer's gone to sleep again. That's not a good sign, is it? Oh, I was going to say this game regularly violates the rule that bosses only need 3 hits. But that one did need 3 hits, that's fine. I'm going to stop and start my recording again because I'm paranoid. Yeah. Basically, usually while I'm recording, my computer stays on, so... Right, there's no way of explaining this without it sounding weird. I like to record in the dark, so I have the lights in my room switched off, so the only light is really coming from my TV while I'm playing Mario, which is great. Helps me get in the zone. Good fun. But then it means I've got the TV showing Mario Galaxy, and then I've got the computer to the right showing my audio, my video, and my notes. And usually while all those things are running, it doesn't turn the screen off, and then suddenly there, it did turn the screen off. And last time it did that, it crapped out very shortly afterwards. So I've had a mild freak out. Oh, you're telling me something. Enemy base spotted. We're detecting massive energy spikes. What are they doing there? Probably misusing the power of a Grand Star. But we're not actually going to deal with that directly. We've got one more thing to do before we go on and do the boss of the fountain. It will be this episode, don't worry, but we're going to do episode 2 of the Battle Rock Galaxy. So, this is breaking into the Battle Rock. I always find the levels in this one quite hard to differentiate, but there we go. But yeah, so last time it did this and turned off, like the screen turned off, I woke it back up and it was like, cool, we're all okay. And then it froze up, like, oh, my computer has an odd habit of doing that. Oh, by the way, bob-ombs. Shake to pick up a bob-omb, shake again to throw it. Once the time runs out on it, explosion! And it's a good way of destroying these crate things, which are usually only destroyable by bullet bills. Oh god, I don't want that. Yeah, my computer has a habit. It's developed this over the last... 3 years. It's been a while. It's such an annoying thing because there's no easy fix for it, because it's... So basically what it does is occasionally it just freezes up. Like, completely freezes up. It will stop playing any sound, the video will completely freeze, it won't take any input or anything like that. It's just complete lockup. There's no error message or anything like that, there's no blue screen thing, it's only resolved. I stop it by literally holding the power button to turn the computer all the way off and on again. And it's such a fucking generic error, there's no error code I can Google or anything like that, so I don't really know what's causing it. I think it's just... I suspect it's issues with either my processor or my graphics card, because both are quite old and don't like the system that they're in particularly. But other than literally like swapping out those, like, sometimes it'll do it like, I'll turn on the computer and it'll freeze, and then I'll try again and it will freeze within like 30 seconds. Or sometimes it'll be within an hour, or sometimes it'll be within 2 weeks. Like, it's so unpredictable. By the way, Hungry Luma here, he wants 100 bits, I think? Oh, 30 bits. But we're not actually going to do that. He's for a side mission, which I'm not going to do at this point. Basically, there are secret stars in each level, as I mentioned, and that's one of them. Most of the time, or much of the time, the secret star involves first feeding Hungry Luma and then doing an alternative pathway through the level, and that's one of these here. But yeah, that computer freezing thing is such a generic problem. I have no idea how to really start about fixing it. I just need a new graphics card and processor, but that's not going to happen for a while because I'm not got that kind of money hanging around. So I just have to hope it doesn't happen, and most of the time it doesn't. Like, I can happily sit through a 4 or 5 hour recording of Metroid Prime, during which it won't freeze at all. But it did freeze earlier tonight, and that freeze was preempted by a... Oh, bugger. Oh! Caught myself. Handy. Yeah. That freeze was... Aye! As you can see, when you get hit by these explosive things, you fall back towards the last landmass, so... Yeah, that freeze was preempted by the computer actually falling asleep, which it never normally does while it's actually thinking, it's like recording or whatever. So I'm on edge, and will be for the rest of... time, until I finish this recording session, which is the end of this episode and 3 more episodes I'm planning to record tonight. It is 20 past 11. I still have a pint of Jägermeister left. Wow, pint of... Okay, it sounds even worse when I say a pint of Jaeger bomb. It's... Well, okay, it's a pint glass with 2 to 3 shots of Jaeger in, and most of a can of energy drink. Because I've been up since 6 AM. I've been at work since 6:30. It's been a very long day. But everything went really nicely at work, and so I'm celebrating by first drinking, and then... Ooh, look at that, there's a thing going on. First by drinking, and then I was like, well, I've had a couple of drinks, I'm going to record, so here we are. First thing we need to do here is crack into that. Yeah, basically, so we hop into this cannon, and there's that thing in the middle that I pointed out. What we need to do is hit it. And now we need to hit it again, and we're at a mirror of where we just were, so we need to crack into that again. But basically, yeah, everything was going very nicely at work, and then suddenly one of these systems I've been using, basically a way of turning off genes in a Locust, just stopped working. I ran out of the chemical that was doing it. It's not chemical, it's a... Technically, we call it a construct. Here, basically, your trick is just fire between the 2 cannons until you hit it again. There, I think, roughly is the timing. Nope, missed it. But yeah, so this is we call it a construct, and it's you inject an animal with it, and it turns off a very specific gene. And I ran out of constructs. Well, I ran out of constructs, and I switched to the second batch, and the second batch stopped working, so I needed to make up a new batch. And I'd never done this before. The last time I did it was in another lab in Belgium under the supervision of an expert. And then my boss was just like, oh, you can do that yourself, you learn how to do it, right? So I was like, well, yes, but there's a big difference between doing something in someone else's lab under expert supervision versus doing it in your own lab from scratch. So I wasn't exactly positive about it, but it worked really nicely. Made some new constructs, and they work perfectly. Which is great, because that now means I'm where I was a month and a half ago when they stopped working. Because it took me a while to realise that that was the problem, which is frustrating. But that's one of the reasons I've been in since a bloody early hour in the morning. Oh, that's not going to work either. As you've noticed, what I'm trying to do here is just get a bomb till the end of this this rocket thing. Ideally without it blowing up or killing myself, and I'm not doing great in either. Basically, if you get hit once, you're not going to make it. So that should be a window. Ooh, there's a coin. I could do with that. There we go. Whoop. Yeah, margin for error, small, there. But yeah, then the final step of that kind of verification process, which is basically a process for identifying how much... So basically, these constructs, when injected to an animal, should remove almost all traces of a certain protein. And checking that that works is a really slow process. It's a 3-day process, of which the final day takes 10 hours. So I was like, well, I want to kind of record tonight, so if I go in at like 9 and start that process off, I won't be done until like 7 PM earliest. So I was like, I'll go in early and get it started off. And then I got it started off, and I did the whole thing, and then it worked really nicely. And then we were like, oh, let's celebrate! Pub! And I was at the pub until 9 anyway, so didn't really have the nice early start on recording that I was hoping for. But it all worked again, and I'm in a good mood, which is great. We've unlocked the boss. There's also a speedy comet in orbit around the space junk galaxy, which I think is going to be next episode, because for now we're going to do the final part of the episode, which is Bowser's Star Reactor, or not, because it's down at the bottom. Oh, if I hold A, I can spin the camera. That's great. I don't want to go to the Rolling Green Galaxy, ever. But I do want to go to Bowser's Star Reactor, because this is one of the best levels in the game. There we go. So this is the boss of the fountain, and it's bloody good. This is Mario Galaxy at its absolute finest, this level. There's another one in the game later on which is a similar kind of thing, but the fiery Stronghold, bloody fantastic. I may have said that, not sure whether I was clear enough. So first off, the music. Fans of Super Mario 64 will recognise this music as the Bowser in the Dark World music from that, which is a great start anyway, and this level is let's play with the gravity galaxy phenomenon to its absolute best. And basically, I'm fine with games having gimmicks. Levels can have gimmicks, entire games can have gimmicks. What matters is they use that gimmick to its absolute maximum. And Mario Galaxy does not, well, Luigi Galaxy, sorry, does not skimp on that. It really goes all in of, right, we've got this gravity fucking mechanic, let's move it. Ooh, let's use it as much as we can. Oh, bugger, bugger, bugger. Oh, straight into the black hole. At least it responds to me back here, so let's wait for the... what looks like Flood from Mario Sunshine, except spitting fire instead of water, so like a reverse Flood. Burn. Probably spelled B-U-R-A-N, and standing for something hilarious knowing Professor Gadd. So we have, as you can see here... ooh, that was bad. I very nearly ended up jumping into the... ooh, wrong way round. There we go. Land on the platform. Once again, pay attention to the arrows. They tell you where gravity is. Sounds silly when you say it like that. Let's stand on this thing, and that brings us round, and then we run up onto the wall. And this one I'm talking about, this level, really uses the gravity phenomenon to its best, because it's really bloody smooth. Like, it's hard. Well, it's not hard, but it's not bloody easy. There's a lot going on, but it's actually like the transitions between different parts of gravity are extremely smooth. It's great. It's only a little bit short, which is the problem, but don't worry, there's more of it later on. Not in this level, but later in the game. So, Bowser now starts spitting fireballs at us, which crack the ground underneath us, and then it starts falling away. But we just need to make it up here as quickly as possible. I grabbed the life shroom for a reason which, I mean, should be obvious, but in case it's not, we're about to have a throwdown with Bowser. Let's roll! You finally made it! Just in time for me to stomp you into space bits. And we begin our fight with Bowser. Two things about this fight, which are fantastic. I mean, the boss itself is great, and the music is also fantastic. So he follows you around, and he does this ground pound. What you need to do is get him to do that ground pound into one of these blue nodes. Whenever he hits the ground, you'll see a shockwave comes out. So wait here, for example, and that should be him. Yes, he's hit it. So now he starts running around. You've got to run into him. So time it so you're positioned about here. There we go. He'll turn around and bam, spin into his tail. And then spin into him again, and you'll do some damage to him. That's the process for doing damage to him. He will now roar and get pretty angry, so he now gets harder from here on. Now, whenever he'll do this fireball attack, and whenever he stomps into the ground, he'll do it twice and unleash 2 shockwaves. You can hide from them by standing on these things, Same trick, get him to ground pound into those, and then run opposite to him. Basically, he keeps running around. He does try and avoid you, so you need to run face first into him there, spin him, and he'll go flying away. Run in the opposite direction to him, and spin him again. That's how you do damage to him a second time, and it builds on this. It's such a fucking fun boss to play. This Bowser Wonder, it's like, the level to get to him is great fun, and the boss is so bloody good. So now, as you can imagine, he does 3 shockwaves when he ground pounds, but the overall process is the same. We trick him into ground pounding onto one of these little points, and he runs away. Get him on the other side. Oh, he's really crafty. There we go, we got him there. Head opposite to him, and spin. And then head opposite to him, and spin again! It's so much fun, I love it. Oh, did I make that clear? I'm not sure I made that clear. Oh, I love it. What? How? Foolish, Luigi. My plan is too far along now. You really think you can stop me? He should sound more like Sean Connery. That sounds not Scottish enough and just like generic jowly man. Also, he can teleport. That's a new thing.